Alright, if you tell me that Scathach doesn't make you horny, then you're definitely lying to me, but we should probably just talk about the unit instead. So, Scathach is on raid up over on the JP version, and normally I just stick to what's going on with NA, because, you know, it's a nice little progression, you know, that we got going on here, and not a lot of people play JP, so while they might be somewhat interested, I don't think they would care as much, you know, like, I just feel like people would care a lot more about the NA servants that are out right now, rather than like, oh, this new servant came out on JP, who cares if they're busted, because we're not going to get them for like 2 years or something. But considering the like low amount of quartz we get on FGO, I think knowing about these servants being so good should incentivize you to save unless you actually spend money on the game. But Scathach just got a buff. I'm not talking about her costume, they actually buffed her second skill and it completely ties the unit together. So we're going to talk about her today, plus I also just like Scathach a lot, so I mean it's a perfect excuse to talk about her. Her hits are actually better than they appear to be. Like 2 on the quick and 3 on the arts, you're like, oh well, she's not going to be genning NP a lot. But with 6 hits on her buster, Scathach is one of those weird units where you would want to do like an arts buster chain to actually gen NP, because her buster has 6 hits on it, and the 7 hits on the extra card is just like beautiful. Like we love that around these parts. But her first skill is pretty good, right? It gives her an 80% chance to get 50% crit damage and an 80% chance to get crit star absorption for 3 turns each on a 5-turn cooldown, as well as giving her evasion for 1 turn. So normally you'll pop this whenever you want to survive, but it has the added incentive of, well, you'll also probably get some crit damage as well in those 3 turns. The problem is that it's 80% chance, and well, 80% is like, you know, that's 8 out of 10, that's pretty good. In FGO, that's more like 0 times out of 10, and you like never get both of them to pop, or you get one of them to pop and not the other. Like, it would be pretty bad to just get the star absorption and not the crit damage, because you're like, well great, I mean I'll still do a crit, but it's not going to be as impactful as that like 50% crit damage. Remember, 50% is the same crit buff that Waver gives people on his first skill. Now, her second skill used to just be a targetable quick mana burst, which was really good, but then they just buffed it, so it's still targetable and it's still only 50% quick performance, which is still really good, but she increases her own buff success rate by 20% for 3 turns, meaning that 80% chance goes to a guaranteed 100% chance, and then they just slapped on a 20% battery, which is absolutely perfect, because Scathach doesn't necessarily struggle to get her NP back, but she does struggle to get her NP back. This little bit of this like little 20% is going to help her out significantly, especially if you can't run her on something like double Scotty. And in fact, even on double Scotty, she might struggle a little bit because her NP is not like multiple hits, you know, so she doesn't gen a whole lot back. So this is going to be very, very, very good for Scathach, especially in a double Scotty composition. And then finally, there's her Godslayer skill, which gives her 100% damage against divine or undead opponents for 1 turn. Those are both big 100% buffs, and it's like why people bring Scathach to anti-divine fights, because on top of her like ludicrous NP damage, the anti-divine like 100% just free damage you get is ridiculous. On top of all this, she does have a improved NP. She has the like ridiculous 500% chance to stun 1 enemy for 1 turn, as well as a 60% chance to insta-kill that goes up to 100%. Mind you, just because it says 100% chance to insta-kill doesn't mean it'll actually kill them 100% of the time. You have to factor in like your enemy's own death rate and stuff like that, so don't really rely on that, because you're going to be using her against bosses, and bosses have like basically a 0% chance to instantly die. But her damage is absolutely insane with this NP. I mean, she's right behind Enkidu, who's like the hardest hitting unit in the game. At least his base NP is the hardest hitting NP in the game. So the reason I'm making this is just to say that, like, say you have Scotty and you don't have a good like Lancer to run with her, Scathach's going to be a very good option. If you want to try to summon for her when she goes on raid up before then definitely take the shot at trying to do that. You know, like, I don't like to advocate going for like higher NP levels, but dude, an NP2 Scathach with double Scotty at this point is going to be like, it's going to be killing like neutral class like divine people as well. It's absolutely insane. But if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Yeah, let me know how many of you guys actually play JP as well, so I can kind of get like a feel for that, you know. I mean, I'm currently grinding for this bunny Scathach costume. I got her in like 300 Saint Quartz, so I'm pretty hyped about that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day. Peace. Late, guys.